Heavyweight bout, Justin Tafa coming in at minus 168 against the debuting Austen Lane. Plus 168 for him. Over under 1.5 rounds. Plus 190 for the over. Minus 190 for the under. Austen Lane, 35 years old, making his debut as a heavyweight. 6'6", 80-inch reach. So 6 inches in reach advantage for Lane and a 6-inch height advantage for Lane. Coming in here 5-0 in his last 5. Justin Tafa coming off the big knockout win in Perth, Australia against Parker Porter. And he's on a nice little 2-win streak for him, both by knockout in the first round. So maybe some momentum for him. But Austen Lane, you made your video today on it. ex-NFL guy, and pretty athletic, but obviously 35 years old. Probably needs to go at it if he's going to do it. What are you thinking?
It's really tough for me to try to get a read on this fight because, I mean, you look at Tafa, knocks out Parker Porter. He's obviously a powerful striker. But Austen Lane's 6'6", 245 with an 80-inch reach. Like, that's a massive human being. And he's athletic too. I mean, he played in the NFL, defensive end. He's explosive. And Tafa kind of gets caught standing flat-footed at times. And I worry that Austen Lane, although probably not as technical of a striker as Tafa is, could just overwhelm him with the athleticism and the strength, get him down, just wear him out. And then I guess we'll see whose cardio and whose gas tank holds up better. But right now, I just can't get a great read on this fight because I could also see Austen Lane getting a little excited and rushing in and getting clipped by Justin Tafa too. You would think that Justin Tafa has more experience in mixed martial arts, but I think it's Austen Lane who's like 12-3 and Tafa is what, 6-3. So a little experience edge in the cage, not this level, but in the cage to Austen Lane. So he's been around a little bit. I just keep going back to that size, man. That's just going to be a huge advantage for Austen Lane in a lot of these fights. I mean, Justin Tafa is 6 foot tall, the 74-inch reach, and you got Austen Lane who is 6'6" with an 80-inch reach. So even if Justin Tafa wants to stand and strike with him, it might be a little harder to close that distance and reach out and touch him, especially with Lane's movement. Like, you watch him and he is pretty in and out and he circles out and you can just tell he's an athlete with good footwork and movement. So it does scare me picking a side here. I want to lean with Tafa, but this could be one where you pick a guy and you look like an absolute idiot. So yeah, I am going to go with Justin Tafa just because of the UFC level experience. And Lane, not really fighting too high of level. He's been knocked out by Greg Hardy on Dana White's Contender Series. That scares me off a little bit. So I'm just going to stick with a UFC guy and Justin Tafa here. But it's one of those fights that's going to be tough to bet on.
Yeah, I look at it like Tafa's probably the more polished striker. But his one of his losses in the UFC is to Jared Vanderaa. And that's Jared Vander's only win in the UFC. Jared Vander is 6'4", so a similar frame to Austen Lane. Austen Lane probably a little bit more athletic and still taller and longer than Jared Vanderaa. But not a good look there. If you're like betting on Justin Tafa to see that his loss is to Jared Vanderaa, but back-to-back knockouts for him against guys that are relatively his size. So if he connects, like, he's got real power. So I think he's more polished striker, but it's going to be a little bit tougher to get him like inside and touch that chin for him. But considering this is heavyweights, I think he'll probably be able to do it. Like, at some point, I think he'll be able to land it. He is fairly durable. He's been knocked out once, Justin Tafa, that is. So if he can just not get taken down and just stay the course and look for his shots, I think he could eventually find the chin. Lane's been knocked out 3 times, all in the first round, by Greg Hardy, Frank Tate, who was 5-5 at the time, and Vernon Lewis, who was 7-4 at the time. So the chin can be cracked, and an ex-NFL player means you got a lot of miles on that dome piece. I can tell you that. So I don't expect the chin to get any better or any fresher, considering he hasn't been in the UFC. So I'm going to go with Justin Tafa, but he's just got to avoid the takedowns. And
I am interested to see like what will happen if Lane does get the fight to the ground, because using that size and strength, you would think he can control Tafa. I mean, if Justin Tafa is anything like Junior was, in his last fight, he's going to have
Right.
trouble getting up off his back. So that's another thing too. We could be expecting big fireworks and stuff, but I could also see this fight playing out with Lane getting a takedown and just laying on him, doing some work here and there. So it's just so hard to tell what's going to happen in this one.
Yeah, that's the thing that would scare me if he gets taken down and probably gasses out if he gets taken down and has to wrestle. But
right.